member.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday we learned that TransCanada will suspend its application on the Keystone XL, and we can't help but see where they're coming from. This project faces obstacles from Washington and false allegations that Alberta oil is the dirtiest oil on the continent. And right here in Alberta, this project faces an NDP caucus, some of who are bigger fans of Chavez than Chevron. When Keystone comes back online, will the Premier instruct her new Washington envoy to fight for it, or is she hoping Keystone, along with all those Alberta jobs, will just go away?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, we know that getting our product to Tidewater is very important to the object of diversifying the market for our product. We know that's very critical. Over the last 8 or 9 years of a Conservative government in Ottawa and a Conservative government here and an uber-conservative opposition over there, there has been no success in getting these pipelines built. And part of the reason for that is that there is no social license.
Remind the House that I was having some difficulty hearing both parties. First supplementary.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, failing to be an open advocate for Keystone XL is just another example of how this NDP government has pushed investment out of Alberta. The Premier has filled her senior advisors with anti-pipeline activists. She has publicly opposed Northern Gateway with zero consultation, interfering in Kinder Morgan. She's even implied an environmental veto on Energy East to a province that, to quote my colleague, prefers raw sewage over all pipelines. What, if anything, is she actually going to do to get pipelines built?
Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I'm not quite sure. It seems like the premise of that question may have been slightly flawed from As you know, Mr. Speaker, I had a meeting last week with the Premier of New Brunswick to talk about mutual strategies that we could adopt to promote the Energy East pipeline. We also have been talking with our colleagues out west about promoting that particular pipeline. We understand that it's important to get our pipelines to Tidewater, and we also, of course, understand it's important to upgrade as much as possible here.
Are we on second supplemental, or am I going? Second supplemental.
Thank you. Energy investment is fleeing our province because we don't have access to Tidewater. And while the Premier sometimes says the right words, her government's actions are drowning them out. In these tough economic times, other premiers are finding ways to boost their provinces. Ours seems busy trying to drive away the private investment. It's time for the Premier to stop thinking of Alberta as an embarrassing cousin and wave Alberta's flag proudly. When the Premier goes to Paris, will she stand up for Alberta and tell the world that no one produces oil and gas more responsibly than Alberta?
Honourable Premier.
What I'm going to do, Mr. Speaker, is when I go to Paris, I'm going to start by telling the truth. What that will be is that this government is committed for the first time in developing a climate change strategy, a renewable energy plan, an energy efficiency plan, and moving forward in terms of appropriate greenhouse gas emissions reduction strategy. This is what we will do, and this is how we will earn the credibility